friends, come on in, take your shoes off, have a seat, and consider staying a while by clicking that subscribe button. So we went and got to look at another homestead potential this past week, and I did get a lot more video footage this time. I'm trying to get better about that for you guys. Like I said, it's a lot harder, especially like when my parents are there to film and stuff, and just hear what they're saying, because they have like a lot of good advice. Obviously they're older, so they have had a lot of experience buying homes and stuff, so I'm like trying to entertain a conversation with them and film at the same time, but nonetheless, I did better for you guys this time. So this house is actually located right next to one of our state parks in Indiana, and it was fairly close to a popular lake. So needless to say, the view pulling up was absolutely beautiful. See the lake though, look down there.
Yeah, huh.
Well, that would make sense why there's neighbors around then, because it's obviously a water property.
Yeah, this is a house.
But after we got over the beautiful view that we would love to like look at every single day, we started to realize how many neighbors were around. There was actually a house right next to the property, and the driveway wasn't technically our driveway. It only gave us an easement. And if you don't know what an easement is, I'm sure most of you do, but I'll just say this really quickly. That means that it's a shared driveway, and it was actually shared between 3 different properties. So it would have been our house, the house next to us, and then you saw in that video how the drive went all the way down to the water. It would also be that person who had that waterfront properties driveway as well. And what we found out later on in the video, which I'll tell you about the family drama that is attached to this property here in a second, but basically the house went with that lake front property, but they were only selling like the 3 acres right in front of the property. They weren't selling the waterfront property. Like I said, I'll come back to that in a second. This property did have a 2-car detached garage that was huge and had the potential to add almost an attic space above it. Had a, what I would say, a massive kitchen, because we have such a small kitchen now. A lot of you might look at it and be like, that's kind of tiny, but for us it was like huge. That was like Martha Stewart's kitchen. It had an island, and it had like a bread box in it, and it was just really, really nice. It had like a spot where you could pull up like bar stools, which I could see our little boy sitting there and like having breakfast in the morning. And even though the cabinets and the appliances were really outdated, we could easily obviously replace the appliances, and I would have just painted the cabinets white because they had a really pretty like updated backsplash on it. And I think by painting those cabinets, it would have just brought the kitchen to life and really updated it. I like the backsplash. Oh, do you think it? Oh, I love the island. A lot bigger than the kitchen we have now. Right off of the kitchen was a small bathroom. It was a full bathroom though. It would work very easily for kids. And then 2 really tiny bedrooms. One would work really well for like a nursery and like a toddler and stuff. As the kids got older, the rooms might be smaller, but nonetheless, it was 2 bedrooms, you know, with a bathroom in between that we would not have to share with our future children. Small bathroom, but there's no lights in here?
It's probably like... Oh yeah, they need duct cleaning done.
The living room was ginormous. It had really tall ceilings. It had like a nice little entryway. There was even a spot where we could potentially put like a second dining table or even like a homeschooling area. And it had a like really big like doors that led out to the porch that you could even see the lake from. I was absolutely in love with this living room.
You're great. That's supposed to be the
huge living. Master bedroom was decently sized. It wasn't huge, but we definitely could fit a king size bed in there and some tables. And it had this huge walk-in closet, and it also had a huge master ensuite bathroom with not only a shower, but this like huge tub and some really nice like glass like artwork that like blocked the tub from the door. And I would have loved having that tub to either soak in, or, you know, even our child would love to pretend they were in like the ocean or something when they're taking their bath in there. I could just see it now. I would say you could put it in easy.
I know.
Ooh.
There might be room for both of our clothes.
I would say.
Probably.
The only major problem, and I wouldn't even say it's major because we know how to put in ceiling lights, but as you heard us say earlier in the video, there is no ceiling lighting in any of the bedrooms, so it'd either have to all be floor lamps. But like I said, it's not that big of a deal. Like in the house we are now, our house didn't have ceiling lamps either, and my husband and my dad both know how to do that, so that's something, a quick fix that we could have put in. But this house was at the top of our budget, so that was something we would have to think about, a project we would have to add on and pay for. By far, our favorite area of this house was the unfinished basement. It was ginormous. You could easily put in another 1 or 2 bedrooms down there. We could have had a huge play area for the baby. We could have had an entertainment center down there. There was already like a built-in like stockpile area I would have loved, so that way it's not in our garage like it is now. It's hidden away. No one would know it's down there, and I could stock to my heart's content. It was a walkout basement, so like literally that I could like be down there doing laundry and watch the baby as it grows up playing in the yard. It had a wood burning fireplace, and they also had a generator down there. So it pretty much was really, really good and set up for an emergency situation or even like a homestead like we want. We just fell completely in love with the basement and saw so much potential down there. Can't see anything down here. But there is wood burner.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
We'd have some guys.
So unfinished basement and the laundry is down here. But I don't get like a creepy vibe from like old basement, you know?
No.
And we could so easily put another bedroom down here.
Put a couple, I mean, a nice.
Well, I'm thinking a big entertainment thing for the baby. Got your wood burner down here, which would be nice to have. And then have a nice walkout here.
Does it save?
Look at all these shelves.
Yeah, this is perfect for.
Do you think these would hold cans and stuff though? I guess it seems solid. These we would obviously replace with the nice ones we have in our garage.
Yeah, but I mean, you could even shelve up under here. I mean, drop some studs here. You could drywall all of this in. Yeah. But I mean, all some things in.
This down here you could easily put another bedroom in.
Well,
I see a big TV room down here, a big playroom for the baby.
Right, and I think because it's a walkout basement, any room that's down here, when you go to resell the house, could be another room.
Well, Mom said it would probably have to be over here because you have to have access in case of a fire to the outside. Why is this wood right here? What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Is that normal for a basement?
Well, probably for this style, yeah.
Or walkout? I'm gonna say we didn't walk out here. It has a generator.
That's nice.
So the power goes out.
And it does run on, I think, natural
this
gas. I don't see a
view.
propane tank.
You can see the lake out there too. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
look at
really
that
like
sunset.
this. Yeah.
There's a nice state park just on the other side of this that would have beautiful walking trails.
I really like this.
I know I'm kind of in love and I'm trying not to be. Needless to say, we fell in love with this house and you're probably wondering why we didn't purchase it. Well, there was a lot of major things wrong that we couldn't overlook. For one, the yard was very hilly. Like the entire yard was at a slant. And so it would be very hard to homestead. It would be almost impossible to garden the way the water looks like it would run from the rain. And it just wasn't a good homesteading property. As mentioned earlier, there was a ton of neighbors around, and although we don't mind having some neighbors, we definitely didn't want to be on like a lake community setting. In the summertime, anyone who's ever been around the lake knows how many people are going through there, and the whole point of getting on a homestead is to kind of be off grid a little bit, kind of be out of the public view or like away from the, you know, crowds and things like that. And we just felt like it was too close of proximity to that lake where we would get a lot of traffic. The home was a manufactured home and we don't have a problem with that either, except we could see a few cracks and things in the wall as this was almost in, I think it was like a 6-year-old house. It was very well maintained, but it definitely was going to need some updates. Again, it was at the top of our budget and we just didn't feel like we would be able to foundationally fix things. They needed brand new flooring throughout the house and that would cost us a lot, and we just didn't feel like on top of wanting to get, you know, animals and doing homesteading, doing a lot of gardening and doing projects like that, that we could afford to do that on this property. All right, so the family drama I promised you. I guess there was a man and a woman who owned this house like for 50 years. They took care of it very well, and he was the owner of the waterfront property. So this all went with one property, and I guess this is like over a $1.5 million property where it's setting. Well, he passed away, and he did not leave a will to his 5 children. Apparently, a lawsuit just ended between the siblings. These siblings were literally suing each other, which I can't even imagine. Like, I love my sister so much, there'd be no way I would let, like, a property come between us. I would never want to risk not being able to see my niece and nephew, and probably at the end of the day, I would have just been like, okay, you just have it. We'll go find another homestead. But nonetheless, they decided to keep the lakefront property, which obviously if I owned it, I would too, and then sell off the house. The problem was there was about 3 acres in front of the house that they were not selling with the house. So there was an entire cornfield in front, and they weren't selling it. We were kind of concerned that someone would either buy that property and build a house in front of it. They had been talking, or there's been rumors about the property being bought next to it, because there was also a cornfield they own next to it, and being put into a housing development, which would put a ton of neighbors next to us. Yes, these siblings are still very, like, not happy with the settlements, and I guess they do come around the house a lot, and we just didn't want to be in that drama, because we were thinking that if that's how they were treating each other as siblings, how would they treat us as a complete stranger? On top of that, when we were in there, my husband ended up locking his keys in our truck, and we had to call a locksmith, and it was like a whole thing. And that, with all of the family drama, we were just like, this is not it. Though we were in love with the house, and it was like pretty much exactly what we were looking for, the land was just not in the best location. It wasn't the best for farming or for having animals out there, and it just had way too many neighbors. So it was really, really hard to say no to this house, but it just wasn't it. Getting closer though, we've been finding land, but not so much a house that we like. Now we found a house and not land we didn't like. Again, it's getting so frustrating, but I guess that's just part of the journey into finding our own homestead. Thank you so much for watching and continuing to be a part of this journey with us. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. It's free, it only takes a second, and it really helps this channel out, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye!